Hi and welcome back to FreeEduHub. As you know that we have started a series of lectures where we are covering all legacy operating systems. You might have checked video of Windows 2.1 on our channel earlier. Now today we are going to install Windows 3.1, which was released on 6th of April 1992. Now in order to start the installation, we'll press New and we'll enter the name of the operating system, which is Windows 3.1. Then we'll select the path of it. Once that's done, we'll select Windows in the list and Windows 3.1 in this list. Press next. We'll go with the default setup. Now we'll continue with the default settings which are there. Press next, and we'll provide the minimum storage space which is required for the installation of this operating system. Now once that's done, we'll have to set up some things in the settings since it's Windows 3.1, so we'll have to add MS-DOS first. So we'll add the image files of MS-DOS before we'll continue with the installation of Windows. Now we can check the version of DOS over here since it has been successfully installed. Now we'll add the image files for Windows 3.1 to continue the installation of the operating system. And there you go. So at the command prompt we typed in WIN, and that's our operating system, which is Windows 3.1. If you'll go to About Program, you can see it's a Windows operating system, Windows 3.1, and you can even check the resources utilization of the operating system, though we have allocated only 20 MB of the partition space on our hard drive. Press OK. If you are in the command prompt, you can press Alt Tab from the keyboard and you can come back to the Windows again. Clipboard viewer is there for any information, and then we have print manager. We can add the printers and we can print it easily. In the control panel you have the options where you can change the theme of it, as it came later with the operating systems, where you can choose the overall design and the interface of the operating system. So we'll keep it as default and we'll press close from here. Then we had fonts in this one which we can select, depends as per your choice. The beauty of this operating system was that now you can easily use mouse and keyboard with that. For the ports, which ports are connected to the PC, we can even make the changes for the mouse for the right hand side and left hand side, and even the double click, etc. For the desktop icons, we can change the pattern of it, we can change the wallpaper, icon spacing, grid sizes, cursor, and how it can blink. Further, for the keyboard, and you can type in the information in there just for the testing purposes. And then we had printers board. We can select lots of printers which are already listed, and I'm sure their drivers are already preloaded with the operating system. Then we can check the area and the country, date and time, and other settings can be adjusted from here. Date and time is here with the AM, PM, and rest of the information. 386 enhanced, there are no ports connected at the moment, which you can check from here. Then we had drivers, the default drivers which were installed when we installed the operating system, and the sounds if we want to play any and check, which came pre-installed with the operating system. If you want to close it, simple close it, or if you want to switch between the applications, you can click switch to, and you can switch to the program by just clicking on this thing. Otherwise you can simply click here and close the application. So if we go to accessories, we'll find right, which used to be the Word in the older version, Microsoft Word about 3.1, and if you'll find, the rest of the options are appearing like bold, italic, and rest of the things. In the previous version we saw it Word 2.1. Here in this version it's Word version 3.1. Go to File and you will exit. Now we have Paintbrush, the same version but in an enhanced mode, where we have a legend over here. We can select the things from here, for example choose the color, and then we can pick a tool and draw whatever we want to draw. Or even if we want to type, we can type in a text, and again the copy, paste, and circles and shapes, all those options are here, with the help of which we can draw this stuff. Further, we can change the text and brushes and omit the picture format. Rest of the things are the same. We can even select a print setup if we have configured a printer, and we'll simply close it. No, we don't want to save it. Then we have a terminal window, again the ports on which if we have anything connected to the computer, we can check it from here and see. We can even select the baud rate and the data bits priority and flow, and rest of the things are there. Further, you can transfer the files using the transfer if there are any ports connected to the terminal. Next is Notepad. As you can see, they have modified the icon of it, and if you check on about, you'll find the same information. Search, we still have the same options in the Notepad file. No huge difference in it since that time. Recorder is, if you want to add some macros, you can simply record it from here and then save it or merge them together. Then we had card file for different notes, etc. We can maintain it over here. Next option was calendar. They changed some things in it where we can have certain tasks based on the date and time, and then you can set up the alarms and the controls of it for a specific time and day settings. Calculator is there. As you can see that it has been improved as compared to version 2.1. They have added some colors to it, and it's more of a scientific calculator in this one as compared to the previous version. So we'll click on this one and close. And then we have a clock that has been modified as well. In the previous version, you remember it was an analog clock, but they have added a digital clock to this version. Object packager is if in case you want to install any softwares to this version, you can do it from here. And then we have the character map, where we used to have symbols if you want to insert it. They used to be very handy at that time. And then we have a media player. Awesome, with the help of which we can play the video clips, and a sound recorder with the help of which we can record the audio. So quite an improvement in this version as compared to the previous version. They have added lots of interesting features to it. Now if we'll go to the games, again the same Solitaire, and the other game is there, which is Minesweeper. Which came even up to Windows 98, and people loved playing it. So I'm not into gaming, so let's exit it. Now at the startup, we can see there are no applications running at the moment, so we can close it. Then we can see the applications like Microsoft QBasic, that's used for the basic programming, and it used to be very successful at that time. But there aren't many programs on QBasic anymore, but people made some awesome programs at that time. A smart monitor was again the monitor settings. If you want to choose the basic size or the window size, etc., all those options used to be over here. And then we close it. Then backup was there. So if you want to create a backup of your Windows operating system, you can simply do it by selecting the option, selecting the floppy disk drive, 3.5 inches, 1.2 depending on the size, and you can configure them, restore them, compare it, and simply create the backup of your C drive. So quite advanced. They added lots of features in this one as compared to the previous version. Now that's the recycle bin directory find, and then you can sort it by extensions and stuff. If you have deleted any files, you can recover it from this as well. Now my wave, I think it's going to the checking if you have any viruses or anything like that on the computer. So it used to scan your computer for viruses, infections, or anything like that. So by that time, there were some cases reported for viruses which were released targeting the operating system. Now this program is not loaded, so let's close the applications. And now we'll go to the main menu, and I think we saw it initially when the Windows loaded. So file manager, now it has a graphical user interface. You don't need to go through MS-DOS in order to browse the contents of operating system or the files in the computer. So you can simply select the C drive, or you can click on the floppy disk drive to see the contents of it. So an excellent improvement on that. And then you can see a disk level or a tree. You can arrange it as you like, and you had an option to cascade it as well. So next is control panel. We went through these settings initially, and we saw all the options in this one. Then print manager is if you have any prints queued up in the line. Then clipboard viewer if we have copied any files, and then MS-DOS Windows setup, which is showing the VGA monitor and the basic settings of the computer. And if we want to add, remove any Windows components, or if we want to change the system settings, we can simply click on this one and we can remove certain files from the computer. Very advanced as compared to version 2.1. PIF editor is again finding the files and programs and changing the directories and stuff like that, some basic setup. And readme file about the Windows. Further, if you want any help, you can simply go and search for the contents in this one, which would help you in understanding the operating system. So quite advanced as compared to version 2.1. As you can see, there were lots of improvements in it, and it looked really impressive as compared to 2.1. So that was our Windows operating system, which is Windows 3.1. We'll be covering the next operating system, which is Windows 95, in our next tutorial. That's it for today. Thank you very much.